Srimati Bhaktivedanta Swami Niti Namine Namo Vishnupadaya Krishna Pristaya Bhutale Srimati Bhakti Vedanta Swami Niti Namine Namaste Saraswati Devi Gauravani Pancharine Nirishesha Sanyavadi Dasya Chadishadine Jayo Shri Krishna Jaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadara Shivasadi Gauda Bhaktivedanta Hare Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Rama Hare Hare Jaya Radha Gokul Nanda Shri Radhe Jaya Sitaram Lakshman Hanuman Jaya Sitaram Lakshman Hanuman Jaya Gauranitai Jaya Gauranitai Jaya Prabhupada Jaya Prabhupada Jaya Vaishnav Thakur Jaya Vaishnav Thakur Nidai Gaura Haribo Nidai Gaura Haribo Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna. Thank you all for joining us. I'm delighted to have you here, joining for the Bhagavad Gita class. And welcome to all the online viewers. It's very nice to have you here. So I will be reading from the Bhagavad Gita, chapter 18, text 68. And I will be just reciting the Mangala Charan prayers before we begin. And that will be some prayers to the spiritual master for the Guru, just before I begin. Om Jnana Timarandasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namah Shri Chaitanya Manovistam Stapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Gadamayam Dadati Swapadantikam Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Udapada Kamalam Shri Gurum Vaishnavam Shri Rupam Sagrajatam Sagana Raghunatvitam Sajivam Sadvaitam Savadutam Parijana Saitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padan Sagana Shri Lalita Shri Vishakam Vitamsha He Krishna Karuna Sindhu Dinabandhu Jagatpate Gopesha Gopikanta Radha Kanta Namoshrite Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vindavaneshwari Vishwanu Sute Devi Nanamani Hari Priye Vanchakalpatarubhyascha Kripa Sindhu Bevacha Patiranan Bhavanebhyo Vaishnavyo Namo Namah Jaya Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Srivasati Gaura Bhaktivedanta. Everybody chant loudly with me. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. So we'll be reading from chapters 18, the conclusion, the perfection of renunciation, and it will be text 68. So I can see nobody has the Bhagavad Gita, but if you have your phone, you can have it on your phone. There's a website called Vedabase, and there it has Bhagavad Gita as is. So yes, you can follow online as well. Hare Krishna. So I'll recite the Sanskrit, and I know most of you probably won't know Sanskrit, so I'll just recite this Sanskrit. Yaidam param guyam Mad bhaktesva abhidhayasyati bhaktim maye param kritva mam eva shanti asamsaya. You can follow me on this word-for-word translation. Please repeat after me. Ya, anyone who, idam, this, param, most, guyam, confidential secret, mat, of mine, bhakteshu, amongst devotees, abhidhanasyati, explains bhaktim, devotional service, mayi, unto me, param, transcendental, kritva, doing, mam, unto me, eva, certainly, esyati, comes, asamshaya, asamsayaha, without doubt. Translation and purport by His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai. Well, technically it's just the purport, but anyway. For one who explains this supreme secret to the devotees, pure devotional service is guaranteed, and at the end he will come back to me. Purport. Generally, it is advised that Bhagavad Gita be discussed among the devotees only. For those who are not devotees will understand neither Krishna nor Bhagavad Gita. Those who do not accept Krishna as he is and Bhagavad Gita as it is should not try to explain Bhagavad Gita whimsically and become offenders. Bhagavad Gita should be explained to persons who are ready to accept Krishna as the Supreme Personality of Godhead. It is a subject matter for the devotees only and not for philosophical speculators. Anyone, however, who tries to sincerely present Bhagavad Gita as it is, will advance in devotional activities and preach the pure devotional state of life. As a result of such pure devotion, he is sure to go back home, back to Godhead. Please repeat after me, just the translation. For one who explains this supreme secret to the devotees, pure devotional service is guaranteed. And at the end, he will come back to me. Before I begin, I forgot to mention that I pray for all the blessings of the Vaishnavas, of Srila Prabhupada and Radha Gokulan, and that I may become an instrument and say something useful on this verse. So in the purport, Srila Prabhupada mentions this point that the Bhagavad Gita can be discussed among the devotees only. Yeah, with the devotees, there's the reciprocation between Krishna and his devotees. Naturally Krishna, within the heart of Krishna, his devotees resides, and vice versa, that for the devotees is Krishna, and they know nothing but Krishna. It is said to be that the worship of his devotees is higher than Krishna. That's interesting, because that shows how much he values his devotees. Prabhupada further goes on to say that non-devotees will understand neither Krishna nor Bhagavad Gita. See, the thing is that we must have some sort of qualification to understand Krishna. It's interesting when in the Bhagavad Gita, I think it's in the introduction, Prabhupada mentions that theoretically, I think, on a practical basis, that we should, at least to an extent, accept Krishna as the Supreme Personality of Godhead. And why is he saying this? He's saying this so that we can be open-minded to understand what Krishna has to say. The non-devotees, problem with the non-devotees is that we're conditioned. We have all the anarthas. We are conditioned by the three modes of material natures, and they are pushing us down. And that we are conditioned by this material world to take birth. And Krishna says, for one who takes birth is surely to take death. And then we have old age and disease. So these are guaranteed. So then how can they understand Krishna? Krishna can only be understood by his devotees. And the problem with non-devotees is that sometimes we can come with our own thought patterns, we can come with our own logical thoughts. And when we try to do that with the Gita, it won't work. Because when approaching the Gita, well, first of all, he needs open-mindedness. When we have the open-mindedness, then we are able to receive it something. And secondly, we have to be sincere. In sincerity, we're able to appreciate Krishna's grace. And with that, Krishna is able to descend knowledge. He mentions in the Bhagavad Gita, in the seed verses, how the Lord gives the intelligence by which you can come to him. I just managed to forget that verse for now. Yeah, I think it goes, Tesham satata yuktanam bhajatam priti purvakam dadami buddhi yogantam. I can't remember the rest of that verse. But in Ye mam upayantate, thank you. And in that verse, Krishna says that I give the knowledge, I give the understanding, I believe, by which you can come to me, if I'm correct. Just confirm, don't want to be mistaken on here. Yes, to those who are constantly devoted to serving me with love, I give the understanding by which they can come to me. So it's really here, Krishna is saying that with service, I give you the understanding. It's not everything by endeavor that you can do everything on your own. To an extent, that is there. We try, in the beginning we try to do everything. We do nice sadhanas. In the morning we do japa. We do the Guru Puja, everything. But later, when we progress, we realize it's only by Krishna's mercy, it's only by Krishna's grace we can actually make advancements. And with Krishna's grace and Krishna's mercy, we are such blessed with such Vaishnavas, such devotees, who then can further water the seeds of devotional service, the kripa within our heart. And Krishna also mentions that not a blade of grass moves without the sanction of the Lord, is mentioned. So we can see that everything is working by Krishna's authority, by Krishna's will. And it is also confirmed in another verse in Bhagavad Gita, chapter 7, text 7, if I can find that verse. Bear with me. Krishna says in chapter 7, knowledge of the Absolute, text 7, Krishna says, "O conqueror, well, there is no truth superior to me. Everything rests upon me as pearls are strung on a thread." So for non-devotees, they can't see the will of the Lord. And even if they do see the Lord, they choose to ignore it. They think this is just coincidence. But for a devotee, they see everything is happening. Everything has the hand of the Lord. Like, this is interesting. Yesterday I was coming back on the way to the manor, and I was just coming from Leicester. I was visiting some families from Leicester. And I booked a train to Edgware, because there were other trains, but this was the only available tube actually to go back to the manor, and this was the closest one. So I found myself in Edgware. But unfortunately, I couldn't get a lift arranged. Such things happen, some things don't go always the way we want it to. And I was just walking, didn't know whether to turn left or right, and I was just walking, and I thought, okay, let me at least make my way to the manor. Let's see what Krishna has arranged. And I was just chanting my japa and praying that the Lord will arrange something. And the devotee just, out of nowhere, says, Hare Krishna, Haribo, Haribo. And I was thinking, I'm looking out, who is this? Who is calling me Haribo? And I look and I found a devotee, and he asked me, oh, where are you going? I'm like, well, I'm technically going to the manor, but a very long route. And then he's like, oh, you're going to the manor? I will take you there. Upon that moment, I realized this is the work of Krishna. This is Krishna's hands. Many people will just say this is coincidence. But that's just because they don't have the knowledge. They don't see the vision of the Lord. And that's partly due to their covering. They're nathas, they're bound by the material energy. But for a devotee, they can clearly see this has to be work of the hand of the Lord. And yeah, I was speaking with him in the car, isn't he? And he was saying, actually, had I not found you also, I would have also returned home and gone on with my business. So we are both. So he was blessed also to take darshan of Radha Gokulananda. So this is, you can see the fortune of the Lord and how he blesses me as well as him himself. So just amazing what the Lord can arrange for his devotees. But still, even for his non-devotees, Krishna is always trying something to bring his non-devotees back. Therefore, that's why we have Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, who established Harinam Sankirtan and bringing the Yuga Dharma. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. And in this Maha Mantra, the Lord is fully present in here. And by this process, we can go back home, back to Godhead. And not any Godhead, but Krishna's Godhead, Krishna Loka. But in this yuga, in this time now, we are such fortunate to have the blessings and the grace of Srila Prabhupada. Where would we be without Srila Prabhupada? And I find it very unique in Prabhupada. What I find with him, I find very connecting with Srila Prabhupada is that the most impressive thing about Prabhupada is that he wasn't trying to impress anybody. And he was uncompromising about the message of Lord Chaitanya, about the Yuga Dharma, Harinam Sankirtan, preaching the message of the Lord and through the Bhagavad Gita. Therefore, he brought the Bhagavad Gita as it is, without any interpretation, without any commentaries, just so that you can understand. There was also one time a conversation between Gopal Krishna Maharaj and Srila Prabhupada, and he was mentioning maybe what we can do. This is back in the early days, probably in the 1970s. And he was mentioning, why don't we try to have a Gita without the purports? This would run much quickly, and people would take to this quickly. And Srila Prabhupada's response was amazing. What can they understand without the purports? The message, they will not understand. They need some qualification. They need some basic understanding. Therefore, these purports are very unique because it has the words of the acharyas. And he made it very simple to understand. Simple for the simple, complicated for the complicated. Yes. And then Prabhupada in the verse, he also further goes on to explain, non-devotees should not try to explain the Bhagavad Gita and become offenders. When the non-devotees take to the Bhagavad Gita, they read it, and then immediately they have some interpretation. They look at it from this angle, they take it from that angle. they try to connect it with their own philosophical head. And they try to make their own conclusions rather than accepting as it is. And somehow what they will do is they will find this process to be somewhat, they will take it to the karma kanda process. And therefore they will use it for their own sense gratification, their sense enjoyment. Therefore it can become offensive in the hands of non-devotees. And similarly, it's mentioned in the 10 offenses. To preach to the faithless is an offense, because it doesn't do any good for them. And what it really does is it takes them further away from Krishna, rather than bringing it close. Therefore, Prabhupada was very heavy in the purport he points out very strongly that it should really be presented to the devotees. Because the devotees know the message of the Gita. They understand the Lord. They have a relationship with the Lord. And even for the neophytes, devotees, if they are not able to understand everything, still the Lord will provide. He gives the understanding by which He comes to me. He gives the intelligence. Everything is coming from the Lord. Everything is under the will of the Lord. So the devotee has no anxiety, no worry in this regard. It's also explained how the Bhagavad Gita explains to the persons who are ready to accept Krishna. Even just that, Prabhupada is also very open to having people just to ready to accept Krishna. Even if you are ready to accept Krishna, then Krishna starts to make his magic within the heart, and he is residing as Paramatma. And from there, Krishna starts to make all such arrangements. And Krishna is waiting just for that little reciprocation that you come a little closer. And Krishna will come further. As it's mentioned, that if you take at least even one step closer to Krishna, Krishna will take 10 steps or 100 steps closer to you. Therefore, we can see how Krishna is even more eager to receive you than you are to receive him, which is amazing. Because at the end of the day, we are spirit souls. We are part and parcel of the Lord. We belong with the Supreme Lord. And that our constitutional position is subservient to the Lord. Without the Lord, we are nothing. Nothing. What could we possibly hope to achieve in life without the Lord? It's funny how so many people go on with their life, get a job, get married, settle down, have kids, get a house. But they waste their time not realizing Krishna. Therefore Krishna explains that just those devotees who explains the supreme science to the devotees, to the non-devotees, and he guarantees devotional service because he finds that dear to them. He finds that this devotee has gone out of the way to preach my message, and therefore he's dear to him. He also mentions in the purport, Srila Prabhupada, that subject matters are for devotees only and not for philosophical speculators. How many times do we try to conjure our own sort of philosophy? All the time we have such thoughts in the mind where we want to think like this and have these ideas. And you can see at the time of Srila Prabhupada, he mentions around, 600 types of Bhagavad Gita with their own interpretations and commentaries. Jai Shri Shri Radha Gokulananda Ki Jai. And each with them taking them, Hare Krishna, taking them further and further away from Krishna by preaching impersonalist philosophy, Mayavad philosophy. Therefore, Srila Prabhupada then made this Bhagavad Gita as it is. And he is the true Acharya because a guru is one who repeats the words of his guru. And therefore, it becomes bona fide in that way. The only difference with coming down is their own slight realizations. But otherwise, the message stays the same. Therefore, in one's spiritual life, we need a bona fide guru. And certainly, the guru provides everything. Tad vidi pranipatena paripashnaya sevaya upadek shanti te jnanam jnaninas tattvadarshina. Just try to learn the truth by approaching a spiritual master. Inquire from him submissively and render service to him. The self-realized souls can impart knowledge unto you because they have seen the truth. So you can clearly see that the Guru has path, that he's carved the way through. He knows what needs to be done. And therefore, when we take to the Guru, to the lotus feet of the Guru, it's mentioned in Nectar Devotion that within the five principles of devotional service, one of the first and foremost things is approaching a spiritual master, taking shelter from him, taking diksha from him. We stress this so much within the Hare Krishna movement, that one needs a guru. Without the guru, we have no foundation. Without the guru, we are lost. That's why we pray every morning. Guru Charan Padma, Kevala Bhakti Sadma. Guru Padma, Guru Mukha Padma Vakya, Chitete Kora Koriya Akya. With the mercy of the Guru, we can cross the ocean of nescience. The Guru makes so many things possible. In the beginning of our life, we are lost, we are perplexed, we are confused. Similarly, like with Arjun, when he's perplexed and confused, not knowing what to do. Katpanya dos pahata swavaha. He's looking for guidance. He's completely confused. So we share that bond with Arjun, how he's confused and lost. And therefore, he approaches the Guru. Therefore, he takes to be ready to accept the position of a disciple. And Krishna acts as his Guru. And so you can see how he's ready to accept Krishna as a Guru. And in this regard, then the Guru makes everything possible. We heard recently from Srila Prabhupada some time back, how we have the Chaitya Guru and Krishna, both working hand in hand in delivering the jiva, the Atma, back to Godhead. Yes, so with the help of the Guru, everything is possible. And it is also said that the Guru has a greater vision than the disciple himself can ever even make for himself. So he can already see where things are going to lead, how things are going to progress. And that's the nature of the Guru, that he builds a path for him to getting back to Godhead. And therefore we should be blessed in such a way to receive the blessings of the Guru. Then we can take to Krishna consciousness. There's another point that Prabhupada mentions in the purport. Anyone who sincerely tries to present Bhagavad Gita will advance in devotional service and reaches the pure devotional state of life. So, even Prabhupada mentioned, just simply by sincerely trying, in the beginning, just try to adopt the principles of Bhagavad Gita. And when we try to do this, Krishna is guaranteeing pure devotional service. Because as long as you remain under the shelter of the process of devotional service, everything will come naturally. Krishna mentions in the Gita that there is no diminution in spiritual life. Even if one makes slight advancement. That advancement will never be lost. Therefore, when we say devotional service, it's a continuation from the previous life. We're not beginning. We've somehow entered in this human form of life. Therefore, we can understand that this has been going on before. It is not that we've just started now. Sure, we may have started now, but that is just seriously. We've tried to seriously adopt what Krishna is trying to say, and we try to live the principles of the Bhagavad Gita, live the way that we try to become Krishna's servant and re-establish our sambandha with the Lord. And in that way, we can reach prajna, the goal of life. And when we reach that goal of life, we achieve pure devotional service, which is inherently our constitutional position. And from there, we will attain Satchit Ananda, full of bliss, full of eternity, and full of knowledge. The soul is by nature Anandamayo Besat, always seeking pleasure. So you can see that we're looking for the right things, but just in the wrong place. The problem with these things are temporary, but what Krishna provides is eternal. And it's interesting because then Krishna even further elaborates in the next verse of the Gita in 1869. If I just go onto that. There is no servant in this world more dear to me than he, nor will there ever be one more dear to me. So we can see such reciprocation of the Lord with his devotees, and how the devotees is willing to go out of his way just to please Krishna. And Krishna takes this into consideration. He notices everything single we do, and he does not let that go to waste. Yes. Okay, I think I will end here. I mentioned everything I would on this purport. Is there any questions or comments about what I've said or spoken? So any questions or any criticism? Yes.
Can you briefly describe what Sambandha, Abhideya and Prayojana again? Like, just the translations of them.
Yes, so so Abhideya is the process. Sambandhan is our relationship with the Lord, and Prajna is the goal of life. By these three things, it's our foundation that we can go back to Godhead. In the beginning, we understand these are the three things that we can do to go back to Godhead. Abhideya, if we take to the process sincerely, then everything will be manifest. Chant Hare Krishna, take some prasadam, read Srila Prabhupada's books, associate with devotees. And when we're in this process, everything starts to manifest. Bhakti mam abhijanati. Bhakti comes from bhakti. And the devotees have bhakti. Everything is in the process of bhakti. So bhakti comes from bhakti. And then when we do that, we start to build that relationship with Krishna. But it's not that we made a new relationship. No. It's that the relationship is already there. It is forgotten. That is why Prabhupada says, I'm here to revive what you have lost. Your eternal relationship with Krishna. And there we can enjoy for eternity with Ananda, with bliss. And that is our true goal of life. Because what can money do? What can external things do? We come with nothing and we leave with nothing. But the funny thing is, Krishna is there throughout our whole life. I hope that answers your question.
Yeah, thank you.
Hare Krishna, thank you. Nain Prabhu.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Yeah, I just had a comment. I was at the Maharaj's Vyasa Puja and Nityananda Tridashi festival in Germany. And when you're speaking about like, Guru and the importance of Guru, I remembered one thing that Maharaj said. I'll just read it actually. He says he articulated it much better than I would. He said, "The spiritual master holds onto Krishna's lotus feet with all of the love in his heart, and the disciples hold on to him with their heart, and then Krishna embraces all of them."
It's very nice.
Yeah, holding on to Guru's feet, and then Guru holds on to Krishna's lotus feet.
Very nice. Yeah, the Guru is the direct representative of the Lord. Whatever the Guru is giving is on behalf of the Lord. That's why Guru is considered very dear to Krishna. And when we hold on to Guru, then Krishna is naturally pleased. Prabhupada explains it as a pet dog. Don't take it the wrong way, but explains it as a pet dog that if you please the dog, then naturally the owner is pleased. That is why we emphasize a lot on the Guru. How far can one come without a teacher in life? And one thing I really find amazing with a Guru, with spiritual master, is that they lead by example. So not only have they understood the Gita, not only have they preached the Gita, but they live by words of the Gita, Shastra Chakshush. That is what Acharya means, that he leads by example. That's not so easy, especially for the neophyte devotees. For the Madhyam Adhikaris, they understand they try to live by it, but they can't present it philosophically. But the Uttama Adhikari, yes, they can present it, they can overcome such Mayavad philosophy, impersonal philosophy. And they can preach the message of the Gita very well. So that's nice. Anything else? Yes.
Yeah, I had another comment to make. How you mentioned how far can we go without a teacher, and that just made me think how everyone currently in the world is always trying to do it themselves. The children are trying to go without the parents. Parents are trying to go. Like this was like mentioned in like a class a few days ago or something. Like everyone, like the parents are trying to go without the children. Children are trying to go without the parents. The husband's trying to go without the wife. You know, like that. And like no one's. It's like I've noticed like a lot of like children don't have, if any, they have very little respect for their parents, and what to speak of like following. But also, nor do the parents have like an example to, or any teachings to really for the child to really follow. So yeah, that just kind of made me think of that. Yeah, like everyone's trying to be the teacher of themselves, but like no, you always need someone who's more experienced, and it's intelligent to just accept what they say. It's like say if like just someone who's elderly, they say, "Oh, do this or don't do this, you'll get this result like this," and you can just accept it. But then instead, people will just they try to go at it, and they can just end up depending on what it is, but they could end up just wasting time when they could have just followed what the one who was experienced said. So, but yeah, so how far can one go without a teacher? So you can go very far, but you'll be wasting so much time.
Yeah. I said that one can make hardly any advancement without the Guru. So, therefore we stress the importance of Guru. You know, we sing every morning, Yasya Prasadam, Bhagavat Prasadam, that he is representative of Krishna and that he is revered in all scriptures.
And that, like, without the grace of the spiritual master, one cannot reach Krishna. Or was that the previous verse? Anyway, yeah, it's in the song.
But that's not to say that the Vaishnavas also not higher. The Vaishnavas also are there for us. Sometimes we may not have the Diksha Guru with us, our initiating spiritual master, but we do have the devotees around us that can always help and support us. But we don't expect that they're going to give you everything that you need. That's not there. That's not possible. They can help you to an extent, So you take what you can, but the Guru is the one that knows you inside out.
Yeah.
He has the mission in bringing back the souls. Yeah, Krishna.
Yes, they're both equally important. The Vaishnavas give the general. I mean, you don't have a guru; you just go to the Vaishnavas. But the guru is the one who attends to you personally. He knows what to do for you personally, like that.
Yeah. If there's nothing else to say, then I will end here. Shrimad Kantaraj, Shrimad Bhagavad Gita ki, Shri Shri Radha Gokulananda ki, Shri Shri Sita Ram Lakshman Hanuman ki, Shri Srila Prabhupada ki, Vaishnava Thakur ki. All glories to your assembled devotees. Hare Krishna.
So who should lead?
Hare Krishna. You can can all stand up. It's time for the word. Jayo Shri Shri Radha Gokulananda ki Shri Shri Sitaram Lakshman Hanuman ki Shri Shri Gaurathaya ki Shri Shri Srila Prabhupada ki Nitai Gaura Premanande Hari Hari Shri Shri Radha Gokulananda ki Sitaram Shiva Jayo Jayo Madhachande Adhutika Shobha Shiva Jayo Shiva Jaya Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shiva Gaura Bhaktivedanta Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Rama
Jaya Vishnupada Paramahansa Parivrajakaacharya Ashtottara Shata Sri Srimad Abhaya Charanadavinda Bhaktivedanta Swami Maharaj Prabhupada Ki Jai. ISKCON founder Acharya Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai. Jaya Vishnupada Paramahansa Parivrajakaacharya Ashtottara Shata Sri Srimad Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Goswami Maharaj Prabhupada Ki Jai. Ananta Koti Vaishnava Vrinda Ki Jai. Namacharya Sri Haridas Thakur Ki Jai. प्रेम से कहो श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौर भक्त वृंद की जय। श्री श्री राधा कृष्ण गोप गोपीनाथ श्याम कुंड राधा कुंड गिरि गोवर्धन की जय। श्री वृंदावन धाम की जय। श्री मायापुर धाम की जय। गंगा माई की जय। यमुना माई की जय। भक्ति देव की जय। तुलसी देव की जय। समावेत भक्त वृंद की जय। श्री श्री राधा गोकुलानंद की जय। श्री श्री सीताराम लक्ष्मण हनुमान की जय। श्री श्री गौर निताय की जय। श्री प्रभुपाद की जय। गौर प्रेमानंदे हरि हरि बोल। All glories to the assembled devotees. All glories to the assembled devotees. All glories to the assembled devotees. All glories to the lotus feet of Sri Guru and Sri Gauranga. All glories to Srila Prabhupada. So now we're going to have the prayers to Lord Nrsimhadev. If everyone will please be seated, and we will start right now. Hare Krishna. Namaste Narasimhaya. Namaste Narasimhaya. Yato yato yami Yato yami tato nrsimha. Mahe nrsimha ridaye nrsimha. Mahe nrsimha ridaye nrsimha. Shri Nrsimhadev Bhagavan ki jai, Shri Prahlad Maharaj ki jai, Srila Prabhupada ki jai, Nitai Gaura Premanande, Hari Hari Bol. So thank you all for coming for this evening's Gaura Arati. They should be serving Mahaprasad in reception now. Hare Krishna.
You got the lights on.
Oh, no, you can turn off.